Welcome to Literature 150. I'm Dr. Pavletic. You have gotten my first announcement, which brought you to Canvas. But before I jump into the Canvas shell for this course, I want to take a moment to touch on some Canvas basics that you may or may not be aware of. If this is the first time that you have entered into Canvas, you might find yourself with a view that's called the list view, and it looks like this. But it only gives you some information for the courses in which you are enrolled. It doesn't give you the full picture. The only way to get the full picture for a course is to actually go into that course. And the easiest way to be reminded to do that and to see actually a less cluttered screen is in the upper right-hand corner. You click on those three dots and then you select Card View. Now this is going to show you all the courses in which you are enrolled, whether they are face-to-face, fully online, synchronously, asynchronously, hybrid courses. They're all going to be listed right here. And you really want to, when you are engaging with any of your courses, to go into the actual courses. You do not want to rely on to-do lists. You want to make sure you are going in and looking at the full Canvas course when it comes time to look at assignment sheets, read documents, look at announcements. Another thing that I want to point out is the fact that in Canvas, if you click on Account on the left-hand side and then click on Settings, you are able to enter in, and you'll see on the right-hand side, other forms of contact, other contact methods. If you click on that, you can add additional email addresses. So if you don't think or if you know you're not going to check your Ferris email on a regular basis, you might enter in a different email. Keep in mind, however, that most of your professors at Ferris are going to require you to only use a Ferris email address for in-class communications. So even if you get information from Canvas sent to an alternate email address, you do not want to use that email address for correspondence with your professors. Say you want to get notifications, whether it's from announcements or notifications of when grades have been posted, texted to you, you can also enter a cell phone number here. Now, in order to select where certain notifications are going to go, after you have entered those alternate contact methods, you'll see they will show up here. You can go in and decide, okay, I want due dates sent to email. I want grades sent to my text message. I want announcements sent to text message. So you can go through and customize how you are going to get certain notifications. Okay, now that that's out of the way, let's go ahead and get into our actual class. Now, once I get in here, I'm going to activate what's called the student view so you don't have to see all of the junk that's associated with my account. So now let's get into this shell now that we have it pulled up. At the start, you found your way to this landing page where you clicked on this blue Let's Get Started button, which took you to this welcome page and the video that you are currently watching. So let's go ahead and get started. As I mentioned, I'm Dr. Pavletic. I've been teaching at Ferris for 7 years. The focal point of my teaching preferences, my education is kind of split. Half of it is what's called, rhetoric and composition, which kind of boils down to the fact that I teach students how to write, and I do it at the Comp 1, 2, as well as 300 level composition courses. And I really enjoy helping students learn how to communicate more effectively through writing. The other half of my education is on British literature, drama. I really enjoy teaching science fiction and fantasy literature here at Ferris. I've taught this Introduction to Literature course a number of times, and in fact, it's actually one of my favorite courses to teach because it gives me an opportunity to, introduce students to various types of literature. And I'm not trying to make English majors through this course. The goal really is to get students to read literature and maybe by the end of the semester actually enjoy reading a little bit so that way it can continue beyond this one particular course. Now, the information provided in this video and below this video is meant to help you navigate Canvas more easily and hopefully be more successful in this class. The text below does add additional information, so make sure you not only watch this video to the end, but you also read the text closely. Okay, on to some basics. We're going to go back to that initial landing page. So just pointing out some basic information. Uh, there are a few different ways that you can book an appointment. You can click on this link here, which is going to take you to a place to book a conference during my office hours, which are listed above. If you want to text me because you've got a really quick question, you can use this number. Please keep in mind that I have no desire to write the great American novel with my thumbs. You'll probably hear me say that a lot. So if you have a really complicated question, text messaging is not going to be the most efficient method of communication, either email or setting up a conference. Our course syllabus and our course calendar are located in a couple of different places. They are right here on this main page, but they are also in this general information area. And when you open them up, you will see the syllabus, which lays out all of the policies, procedures, and also presents you with some basic information on the different assignments you are expected to complete. The calendar lays out the entire semester from day one until the very end of the semester. I prefer to show students everything that is due, even if it might seem a little overwhelming. I really like to give you an opportunity to plan. Sometimes we know we have birthdays or we have things we have to do with our family or work that might make it so that working ahead is going to be the best course of action. And because you know everything that's going to be due, and you can enter it into either a digital or electronic calendar or a paper planner, now you're able to plan accordingly so that you can be successful and not miss any of the assignments. When it comes to looking at these different modules, general information, again, calendar, syllabus, a page that's going to walk through some common tech issues where you can sign up for conferences. We've got a couple of videos that you need to watch for this course to help you with discussing literature. We will be reading 5 texts, 3 novels, 1 short story, and one act play. Ready Player One, Cinder, and Feet of Clay are novels. The Double-Edged Sword, which is why it's in quotation marks and not italics, is the short story. And then the one-act play is Trifles. There's a major paper you're going to write, and I also have a section that has technology tutorials. So these links will take you to all the different modules for this course. But there is another way that you can access those modules. You can actually click on modules on the left-hand side. Now, if seeing all the modules expanded with all their little different sub areas is a little overwhelming, on the upper right-hand corner, you can click Collapse All, and now you just have the headers, so it's not quite so much information all at once. So again, if we take a look at that Getting Started, here's another place to access the syllabus, the calendar. You do have an introduction activity which is due by the end of the week on September 2nd, Friday. So if you click on this, it's going to take you to that assignment, which has the directions. The technology bolts and nuts area is definitely something that is really important to look at because there are a lot of bits of information, problems you might run into that are going to kind of head things off. So as an example, sometimes I have students where they're not able to view something correctly. They're not able to find something. And just doing something as simple as clearing the cache or cookies can take care of that problem. Browsers, Safari, Microsoft Edge, those are proprietary browsers for Mac and PC respectively, and they often don't play well with a lot of applications such as Canvas or other things. So I recommend that you use Chrome or Firefox as a primary browser, and I've got information here on how to download those for free. This is going to be really important, this top one right here, because if you do run into a technical problem that I haven't already provided you with a tutorial or information on, you want to try to find the answer yourself. Because sometimes emailing or even texting back and forth with me to find a solution can take a really long time. Whereas if you had actually taken a moment to Google, you can really type in complete sentences about a problem you have. There are often written tutorials, video tutorials, lots of solutions already available that you could find at any time of the day, rather than immediately emailing me with a question and now it takes 24, 48 or longer hours in order to be able to find a solution. As a Ferris student, you have access to Microsoft 365. You can either use it directly through the browser, or you can actually download it on up to 5 different laptops or desktops. And I have information provided here on how that works. And then finally, because I really want to emphasize this, Canvas notifications. I do not use on the left-hand side this little thing that says inbox where you can send me a message through Canvas. I don't use this. So if you use this to send me a message, I'm not going to see it. You need to email me if you have any questions. There are two sort of exceptions here. One is the fact that I do use announcements through Canvas. I will post a weekly announcement giving you a heads up on what's upcoming. And if I notice that, say, there's a quiz that's due or an activity that you're supposed to do, and a bunch of you haven't done it and it's going to be due really soon, I have the option of doing a notification through the gradebook, so I'm only notifying the students who haven't completed a particular activity. Those will get done through Canvas, but if you reply to it, it goes straight to that little inbox on the left-hand side. I'm not going to see it. So just to kind of give you a heads up in terms of how those things work when it comes to Canvas messaging or notifications. We do have some mandatory conferences in this course, and you can also visit me during my office hours. There are 2 different links for these, even though they do go through the same system. So when you click on this right here, you'll have to click on this to open it in a new tab, but you'll see it says office hours, and there are certain times that you can go ahead and click on these. And when you actually set up a time, after you've gone through the process, confirmed it, filled in the information on the next page, you will get an email confirmation with information for a unique Zoom room for us to have that conference during my office hours. I prefer to have office hours done through this method, letting you sign up, because that way you know you have dedicated time with me and you're not waiting in line and hoping that, somebody gets done in time for you to meet with me. The other thing that we are going to have in terms of conferences, we have some mandatory conferences. Now, it does use the same system, but you'll notice here it says mandatory conferences, and these are during specific dates. And there are certain times that are available for these mandatory conferences. So make sure that you are using the correct link depending on if you want to visit me during office hours or if it's for one of the mandatory conferences. Now, in this class, you will be doing quizzes and reading responses. And the way that each text is broken up with respect to the novels is that they will be read over the course of 4 weeks. So you'll have a quiz and a response each week that you're going to have a different reading assignment. And these reading responses are going to ask you to draw on Freytag's pyramid, of which I have a video here, and I've asked you to watch that by, I believe it's the Sunday. If we take a look at the calendar, it says to watch that by Sunday, September 4th. So you have some of the vocabulary and some of the information under your belt as you are preparing to create that first reading response for Ready Player One. And you'll notice that these are broken down into the different books. So every quiz and response for Ready Player One is going to be right up there. The Double-Edged Sword was a short story. The text for the Double-Edged Sword is here. And then we have the quiz and their response. Cinder's another novel, Feet of Clay. And then Trifles is a 1-act play. And it seems I have forgotten to add it, but I will be adding the text for Trifles right up here, so it will look just like this for the Double-Edged Sword. Now, the major assignment, which is due at the end of the semester, has an assignment sheet and a submission area, and we will have conferences that will go over this later on in the semester. You're not going to be doing this in a vacuum. You will be touching base with me and getting assistance from me in creating this major assignment, which takes the form of an essay. Then I do also have a section of technology tutorials. Once again, I have that technology bolts and nuts right here. Information on downloading Microsoft Office. One thing that you need to do right away is make sure that you sync Canvas with your Office 365. If you don't do this, you might have issues viewing the syllabus and the calendar because I have those housed in Office 365. So you'll want to click on this shortly after watching this video to get that set up. I've also got tutorials and information on assignment submission, discussion boards, as well as some other ones that you might find helpful either in this class or potentially in other courses. As I mentioned, and you don't see announcements up here, and that's because I haven't posted the announcement yet that will go along with this video, but eventually there will be one up here that says announcements. I will be posting weekly announcements, as I mentioned, that give you a heads up, hey, don't forget, this is due this coming week. But I also use announcements to provide you with helpful reminders and tips. If somebody sends me an email with a question that I think is asking something very important that other students might benefit from, I might make an announcement that shares information with the rest of the class. If I notice that someone is having or that the class is having problems with something, I might post an announcement that's got tips on how to be successful. The last thing that I want to point out is that there may be times when we have to use Zoom outside of those Calendly appointments, which this will get sent directly to your email. If there is a time for that, a Zoom room might be used in that area. And so if that is the case, that will be found right here. So the last thing that I want to end with on this video is if you do find yourself having any problems, if you have a question, please don't hesitate to reach out to me either through email, a quick text if it's an easy question, or setting up appointments. I am here to help you to be successful in this course. I love it when the students ask questions. I am happy to set up meetings. I am happy to respond to emails, asking questions, letting me know when you have problems. It really indicates a sense of you being present in this course, of you actually, caring about the class and taking the time to put thought into the class. So don't hesitate to ask any questions or let me know if you're running into any problems. And the earlier you let me know about problems, the sooner we can find solutions. We want to take care of things when they are molehills, when they're just tiny little mounds of earth, as opposed to when they've become mountains. We don't want a problem to become nearly insurmountable because we have put off trying to find a solution. I look forward to working with you, and we will get a chance to speak one-on-one during the second week of the semester. I hope that you have a good start to the fall semester. And again, as I will probably say a lot of times, please don't hesitate to contact me if there's anything that I can help you with.